And now, a Boomer Alley video.
Okay, boomers, I want you to understand that I am not like any of these people who are in complete denial about the aging process. I know that the guy looking back at me in the mirror is a little thicker in the waist and a little grayer in the hair and has some new hairs that are growing in places where hair has no business growing at all. But I am a little bit in denial, thinking that I can do all the things I used to do when I was younger. You know, like when I was in my 40s. As if that's younger. Well, this week I had kind of a rude reality check. We had a big thunderstorm, and there was this little leak in the ceiling in our bedroom. It was tiny. It was so small that I, like every other man, could just ignore it, knowing that, you know, when the rain stopped, so would the leak. But my wife, like every other woman, reacted like we were in the engine room of the Titanic and it just hit the iceberg. Get a pot, get a towel, man the lifeboat. Well, the drip was coming from a vent, so I knew where it was probably coming from and that I could fix it. There was only one problem. I wasn't going to get to go in the lifeboat. I was going to have to climb on the roof. Now, if I was actually still in my 40s, this would be no big deal. But in this point in my life, well, getting on the roof is kind of like planning an assault on Mount Everest. Okay, that's probably an exaggeration. More like an assault on K2, but I was afraid, and my fear was not unfounded. Just last Christmas, I had 2 friends who broke bones when they fell off their ladders putting up Christmas decorations. They just fell off their ladders. Compared to climbing on the roof, falling off the ladder is like dying at Base Camp 1. I was going up to the summit. Of course, I considered all my options. I mean, I could hire a guy who actually knows what he's doing and pay him hundreds of dollars and not take any foolish chances. Yeah, right. No, I'm going up on the roof. Why? Because it's there. So, now I've got to figure out what I should take up there with me. Well, I'm going to need some roofing compound and some duct tape, because you just don't start an expedition like this without any duct tape. And I'm going to need some food and some water and some extra clothes, because I might get stuck up there. It could happen. I'm kind of afraid when I look down from heights. Or, you know, a freak storm could come in unexpectedly, and I might wind up being up there for a couple days and nights, you know, before my wife actually would come out to see what I was doing. Why would it take so long? Because she told me not to go up there in the first place. But she doesn't understand. It's not just a leak that's up there. My youth is up there. My manhood is on the roof. So I've got to get up there. So I took the ladder, the big one, and I put it up against the house, and I looked up, and then I went back in and had some lunch, because you don't want to start a project like this on an empty stomach. And then I checked my email, and then I Googled deaths from falling off roofs, and you know what? There's a lot of them every year. I mean, so many, I'm surprised the Discovery Channel hasn't done a show about men climbing up on roofs. But still, I go outside, and I start climbing, and I climb, and I climb, and I climb, and I get up to that top rung where I'm going to have to step off the ladder and onto the roof. And that's when it hits me. Wisdom. We're promised that as we get older, we're going to get wisdom. Yes, we have to give up the wonders of youth, and I've never really considered it a fair trade, because to tell you the truth, I don't feel particularly wise. But wisdom is a great excuse for not getting on the roof or whatever stupid thing you might be considering. Next week, the guy is coming to fix the roof. Wisdom. It's the boomer's new best friend. That's what I think. And if you're wise enough, you'll go to Boomer Alley and let me know what you think. I'm Mark at BoomerAlley.com.
It's Boomer Alley, love.